Hey everyone. So today you've enlisted in Facebook Ads Bootcamp. Just kidding, not really. But this video should be a good guide to send you off on your way with a pretty good understanding of Facebook ads. A reason to pay attention and to stay watching until the end is if you follow what I share today, you can get or expect some of the results that I've gotten from my clients in the past couple weeks. So here are a list of phone calls that we've gotten, as well as some of the messages and some of the leads we've gotten through Messenger. So good reason to stick around. Want to break this video down into theory as well as the tactical side. So with the theory, for those of you who know what the Pareto's principle is or the 80-20 rule, theory takes up the least amount of time but is the most important part. And then the tactical usually takes up a majority of the time and is least important than the theory. Just go to Google if that doesn't make sense. But anyway, wanted to make this short and let's jump right into theory. So let's talk about theory. Want to break this down into three separate parts. First being your creative, second being where you're sending the traffic, and thirdly, getting a landscape of everyone else or doing some competitor analysis. With your creative, this is essentially the most important part about your Facebook ad. You can do everything else right, have the perfect targeting, have everything set up correctly, but if you don't have a good creative, your ads aren't going to do well. So my suggestion to you would be doing a COVID hello video. And so what I mean by that is it doesn't have to be anything too professional. Just a personal video. You can shoot it from somebody's iPhone, just saying, hey, we're open, hope everyone is safe, here's what we're doing to keep everyone healthy, and hopefully you can come in. So when you're running Facebook ads, it's important to remember where you're sending the traffic or people that are interested and click on your ad. So there's a couple different avenues you can go. I broke it down into three. So you can do the lead form, the landing page, and a messenger. And so with the lead form, this one I actually don't really recommend. This is really like a last resort. The leads you get with lead forms aren't very high quality. I'd say maybe 50% of them convert or actually end up coming in as patients. You will get more leads, if you will, but they're just going to be less quality. And the reason being is some people accidentally put in their information. Some people forget that they do. So shouldn't be your number one choice. The second one is the landing page. The reason I say that over just sending them to your homepage or your website is typically you don't have all the information that someone needs to make that decision of should I become a patient on your homepage. So what I mean by that is you want to have a web page of all your information of who you guys are, your history, insurances you accept, your location, just answering any potential objection someone could have to coming in. And then on that sheet, just having a lead form, if you will, or somewhere where they can put in their info. And, because they have all that information and it takes a higher intent to put it in, typically the leads you're going to get from there are a lot more high quality. So the third and final place is Messenger. This is a personal favorite for me because you get the highest quality leads from it. It requires the most amount of intent, and usually the people that sign up through Messenger end up becoming really good patients. I made an extensive video of this in the past. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link somewhere in this video. So the third and final piece of theory is competitor analysis. Made an in-depth video of this in the past if you want to check it out. But again, just wanted to reiterate it because I feel it's so important. So Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, wrote a book called Made in America. It was his autobiography. And in it, he says he spent more time in his competitors' stores than he did his own. And then even Jeff Bezos he really looks up to Sam Walton. And even it's rumored he has a copy that's all torn up and it's the most highlighted book in his library. But if we can learn anything from, the founder of Walmart and, the founder of Amazon, it's to be obsessed with your competition. So to wrap up theory, we have creative is really important, preferably a video. Where you're sending traffic is crucial, and competitor analysis. So with those three, we're going to move on to the technical side. All right, everyone. So we are in Facebook Ads Manager. This is the tactical side of the bootcamp, if you will. So the way this is laid out is we have campaigns, ad sets, and ads. Campaigns, if you remember back to the beginning where I talked about where you're sending traffic, this really is going to dictate what campaign you pick. For example, if you wanted to do a landing page, you'd pick traffic or even brand awareness if you wanted to. Lead generation for lead forms, and then messages for messenger chatbots. In terms of the ad sets, this really dictates if you're doing cold traffic or warm traffic. The definition of cold traffic is people that don't know you, they've never seen your face before. Warm traffic is people that are familiar with you, they know your name, but they're not patients yet. And so this is where we pick the targeting for that. And then ads, obviously this is where the rubber meets the road. Again, the creative is going to be the most important part of all this here. So if we were to set up a dummy campaign, we would hit create. And again, I actually reshot this part of the video. It turned out to be too long, but now I'm going to go through, I'm going to make it just what you guys need to know when you're running ads for your practice. Again, there's tons of great YouTube tutorials about all the nitty-gritty details, but I just want to cover what's necessary for you guys to get out there and start running ads. For our example, we're going to pick a landing page. So we're going to pick traffic. So not a lot of options here. The only thing to keep in mind is you can put a spending limit. Just helps you kind of set it and not have to worry about it as much. Moving on to the ad sets. This is predetermined depending on what objective you pick in the campaign. We have daily budget here. And then audience. So if you are going to target warm traffic, you would pick your custom audience here. You can even download, if you have an Excel sheet of all your patient information, you can also create an audience from there and target people that maybe haven't come in a while. Down here is where we're going to target cold traffic. So you would put in your location and then you would set up a radius. For this example, let's use Denver, Colorado. So obviously you wouldn't put in your city, you would put in your actual location. And then in terms of a radius, I like to do anywhere from 5 to 15 miles depending on your area. For this example, we'll use 10. And the nice thing to note is you can actually exclude certain neighborhoods or zip codes. So if you know a lot of your patient base doesn't come from this area, then you can just exclude it or include a certain area. So that's important. 10. There we go. Didn't hit enter. Age. So when you're doing cold traffic, the industry standard, if you will, is women anywhere from 25 to 55. If you know for a fact that your audience is different, maybe you have a pediatric dentistry where you need to make those age ranges a little bit tighter, feel free to do so. But for our example, we're going to do 25 to 55. And women. In terms of detailed targeting, I typically leave this off. We're only going to reach so many people. So the more times you segment that, it gets a little more complicated and even too hyper-focused. So this is kind of where I let Facebook be Facebook and figure out who's most likely to become a new patient of mine. So I leave this off. You can split tests and decide if you want to do people that are interested in teeth whitenings, but for our intents and purposes, we're going to leave that to off. Automatic placements. Important to keep in mind that if you're doing a video, sometimes there's different dimensions if it's going to be usually on in article or in stream. So you may get an error further down the road, but most likely just means you need to turn off one of those options. I usually turn off audience network as well. The reason I advertise on Facebook is for Facebook's sake. or for Instagram or Messenger. But with Audience Network, it's kind of it's not necessarily a black box, but that's kind of how I picture it. So I typically leave that off. One more thing to note, I want to optimize for landing page views and not link clicks. Sometimes the landing page loads a little bit slower, so I want to optimize for people that actually end up seeing the landing page. Going on to the ad, you have your Facebook page selected. And again, this is the 20%, the most important part, which is the creative. So again, make it a video if you can, but if not, make it a personal, engaging picture. Usually the pictures that do the best are you posing with a patient, or even wearing your local sports teams jerseys, something that shows, something that looks like it belongs on Facebook instead of a professional kind of sterile feel to it, if that makes any sense. This kind of wraps it up for the Facebook part. Just wanted to cover those brief points to make this as useful as possible. Obviously, there's other options here that I can get into later. But if you have any questions, just feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Congratulations, you have finished Facebook Bootcamp. Today we looked at everything from the theory all the way down to the tactical side. If there's anywhere in there where I lost you, feel free to leave questions in the comment section below, or just message them to me. Make sure to like the video if you got some value from it. Feel free to subscribe to get more videos like this every month. And if you are interested in getting marketing done for your practice, I'll have a link in the description where you can find me at. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. Enjoy your December, and I'll talk to you soon.